Hi Maria, let's take a look at your essays today. This is about the Olympics. Here's what you said. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world, not would have, no. Get rid of the would. Have debated whether the Olympic, no, get rid of event. Let's try it again. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether the Olympics is important or no longer important. Personally, I strongly agree that the Olympics is a great platform to unite countries. This essay will argue both sides, no thought, using examples to demonstrate points and prove arguments. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, so here's my thoughts. Now, besides the fact that the grammar, I had to correct quite a bit of it for just like 3 little sentences, there's something else I want to talk about. You say here that you agree that the Olympics is a great platform to unite countries. Okay, great. But then you say you're going to argue both sides. Why would you do that if you have just told us that you're going to you strongly agree with one side? It doesn't make sense. So for you to justify why you're going to argue both sides, it's important to state here that you see that there is more depth to this issue and that there is some validity to the other side. Otherwise, in a to what extent do you agree or disagree essay, there is no reason to argue both sides. Now, I say that even though I want to kind of give a disclaimer here. I am 100% in favor of writing a concession paragraph. In other words, a concession paragraph is one where you talk about the side that you don't entirely support. I think it is a very, very good idea. But if you're going to do that, if you're going to write a concession paragraph, then it is very important to mention something about that in your introduction. Therefore, the real problem is not that you've decided to write a concession paragraph, but that you've made no mention of it in your introduction. You should say instead, personally, I strongly agree that the Olympics is a great platform to unite countries, despite the fact that it is blah, 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 whatever your negatives are. Okay? That makes sense. So then the reader knows that, you know what, I'm probably going to hear about both sides of this argument. Now let's move on. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that the Olympics is beneficial to the players and the hosting country. The central reason behind this is twofold. First, that there are many talented athletes across the globe whose talent goes unnoticed. Olympics provides a platform, the Olympics, please, it's always the. The Olympics provides a platform to such athletes to showcase their talents and achieve fame and recognition for themselves and their country. Okay? Also, sports is a great medium to create harmony and reduce political tension between rival countries. Okay, so explain that to me. Go a little more in detail. Secondly, the country that hosts the Olympics event, no comma, gains popularity and attracts tourists, which in turn accelerates the per capita income of their economy. For example, get rid of A. Recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that the tourism industry of countries that hosted the Olympics increased by 40% due to media showcasing the country's major tourist attractions. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that the Olympics is not just an international sports event, but also has several benefits attached to it. Okay. Careful with your ideas and having support for them. You had some ideas that had no support. And that can't happen. You absolutely have to make sure that any idea that you present as a reason for why you think what you think, that you have to show that it is attached to some sort of support. Okay? Let's move on. On the other hand, the host country has to ensure the security of athletes, coaches, their families, and of tourists, as such international events are prone to terrorist attacks, like bombs or shootings. Careful with your vocabulary. Also, some people believe that countries spend a large amount of money making stadiums in order to host such a large-scale event, which is organized only once every 4 years. However, after the event, the stadium is vacant and additional money is spent on a yearly basis for its maintenance, which could have been spent with a T for more alarming situations like drought, epidemics, water crisis, and so on. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University showed that developing countries, in order to gain attention, spend money on constructing stadiums for the Olympics, and after the event are unable to maintain the stadium due to lack of funds. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that international events, like the Olympics, attract a lot of cost. Let me tell you what my big problem here is. You had a couple of main ideas here. Your main ideas were fine, but you didn't support them. You talked about this ensuring the safety. Okay, so how is that a negative? You have to go into more detail. Tell me that this requires a lot of manpower, it requires a lot of money, and therefore it's an added cost, but you absolutely have to go into more detail. You just kind of threw it out there as if we were supposed to understand why this security issue is such a huge negative, that it makes the Olympics no longer important. Okay? But you didn't do that. You just kind of mentioned it. You just let it go. Then, what you spent a lot of time on is talking about the money spent on the Olympics. So essentially, you spent a lot of time showing us what the negative of the Olympics is. That the fact that we have all this infrastructure created, but it goes to waste. Now, look at the actual task. What is it asking you? The Olympics are no longer important. That's what you're supposed to be talking about. What it felt to me is like you were talking about the positives of the Olympics and the negatives of the Olympics. Okay? So it felt to me like you were answering a different question. Okay? It's as if the question was something different, like some people are in favor of the Olympics, whereas other people don't like them at all and think they're a waste of time and money. Discuss both views and give your opinion. But that's not what the essay asked you. However, this is exactly what you answered. The point here is that they are no longer important. So what does that mean? You have to ask yourself, why could somebody possibly consider the Olympics important? And why would somebody say, no, they're really no longer important? So I don't think this idea about infrastructure and security shows why the Olympics are not important. It's just showing a negative aspect of the Olympics, but that doesn't mean they're not important. I hope that distinction is clear. I hope it makes sense. Careful with your grammar. You have a ton of missing articles. It gets kind of distracting after a certain point, okay? So, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that, no comma, even though hosting the Olympics is an expensive affair, the advantages of the event outweigh the disadvantages. Get rid of but. You already had even though. It is particularly that the international sports events will increasingly grow in importance. Okay, so your paragraph order is also correct. You are in favor of the Olympics. This is the paragraph in favor of the Olympics. It must go second. So it should be paragraph 1, paragraph 2, 3, and then 4. Because we talk about the side that we support last. Okay. Let's move on to your letter to Albion. All right, please don't start your letter, respected sir. It should just be, dear sir, madam, to whom it may concern something, but not respected sir. Now, we never use contractions in IELTS formal letters, ever, or in essays. We write the words fully out. This is considered just too informal. So, my name is Mona Kapadia, student number this, studying in the last year, Division A, majors in economic. I'm writing this letter to apologize for not attending the Basics of Economics paper held on this date. I would like to inform you that I suffer from low blood pressure, and on the day of the exam I had not eaten well due to stress. As I had not eaten anything, my blood sugar level dropped, and due to this I faded and lost consciousness. I was taken by my roommates to the Lady Lord Hospital, where Dr. Doe treated me. I gained consciousness after 2 hours. However, I was still feeling dizzy, so the doctor gave me medication that put me to sleep for a good 5 hours. That's informal. Avoid it. By the time I got up from my sleep, I realized the exam was over, and I could not, full words, inform a professor, Ms. Patel, about my situation. I do realize the repercussion of not attending the exam and also not keeping the concerned professor updated about not attending the exam. As an exception case, I would request you to allow me to reappear for the exam as I could not attend due to medical emergency. As proof, get rid of the A. I can submit my reports in the treating doctor's letter stating the illness. I would be really thankful, get rid of that comma, if I can reappear for the exam next week, or else I will have a fail mark in my final test report card, which will tarnish my reputation. Okay. This is awkward. It's just awkward. Let's fix this. So please consider my request. I will await your response. I thank you in advance. Yours faithfully, because you don't know the name of the person, and then your name. All right. So, some of the language is awkward. Some of the language is just, it's not natural sounding English. It's this very kind of stilted, kind of unnatural English that we occasionally see. Like to the point where it's so formal in some cases that it just sounds wrong. And then in other places it is so informal that it also just doesn't sound right at all. Okay? Now, let's talk about where you should have been more formal and you were not. I can submit. I can reappear. We really don't use those in formal letters. We use other more formal modal verbs. For example, as proof, I would be happy to submit my report, okay? Or I would be really thankful if I could reappear for the exam, okay? This would be more appropriate language here. There were a couple places already where I told you this is too informal, this is too informal. I think you can find some alternatives, or else, you know, maybe you can ask me about them. I don't know. The other thing that I want to talk to you about, which is super, super important, is the actual bullets. Now, as I'm sure you know at this point, the first thing that examiners look at is task achievement and how well you have covered task achievement. Did you apologize for the situation? Yes, you did, a couple of times. Well, really, only once. I would like to apologize. Yeah. All right, so that's the first time you apologized. It was only once, not a huge deal. Did you identify yourself? Well, you said your name, you said your student number, but guess what you missed? You missed the case number. So right away, that's going to drop you down to band 5 because you did not fulfill all of the bullet. Okay? Then, did you give an explanation? Yes, you did. Do you have any possible evidence? I can submit my reports in the treating doctor's letter. Fine. So you did. Here you did it correctly. An explanation and possible evidence. So that's fine. You missed the case number. Let's talk about what else you missed. Possible resolutions. Did you give resolutions? No. You gave one resolution that you want to reappear for the exam. But again, that's only one. So this really solidifies the fact that you're going to get a 5 for task achievement here because you did not fully fulfill the bullets, okay? You have to pay attention to this, the S's, these ands, and even here, name, student number, and case number. It's not like, oh, well, I kind of fulfilled it, so I'm okay. You have to fulfill everything, all right? I want you to work on the language a little bit. I want you to look at some formal letters and see what kind of language we use. I want to make sure that it's accurate and appropriate, not respect the sir. It should be to whom it may concern, or dear sir/madam. That would be fine, okay? Also, don't use ellipsis here. It's not request you. It's not thanking you. It's I ask you or I request that you consider, and it's I thank you in advance, okay? Go ahead, correct them, return the rest corrected. We'll be waiting, okay? Good luck.